Hey everyone, we're back with Tod Bolsinger for another quick conversation for the long haul of leadership. And today we're going to talk about a quote from Terry Walling. This is from episode 212, Unlearning Old Paradigms for Kingdom Leadership. And here is what Terry said. He said, transitions are the most important moments in an individual's life and in an organization's life because God does some of his greatest work in the in-between. One more time. Transitions are the most important moments in an individual's life and in an organization's life because God does some of his greatest work in the in-between. Now, I do not like the in-between. I want to be either here or there, right? And I want to get from here to there as soon as possible. And I think the same is true, as he's saying, in organizations, in churches. And so, Tod, I guess the question is, why, considering how hard the in-between is, why is it so important?
Well, so the best way to think about the in between is like that moment on you watch a trapeze artist when they got to let go of
Mm.
one rung
Mm.
and fly across the sky to grab the other one. I mean, everybody's
Right.
holding their breath because if they don't
Yeah.
grab the other one, they fall. And that's the
Yeah.
experience of being in between. It's a place where you got to let go of one thing to be able to reach out for the other
Mm.
thing. And there's lots of good work on this. This is what Leslie Newbegin
Mm.
and then Susan Beaumont more recently has called the liminal space. It's
Yeah.
that's it's what the people of Israel understood to be the wilderness
Mm.
experience.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
it's so you realize that part of why God does that is you literally have to step out in faith. I mean,
Yeah.
and for most
Yeah.
leaders, that's the bottom line is that's the hardest thing because
Right.
when you become a leader, all of a sudden there's more responsibility on you. It's not just you that
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
fall if you
Yeah.
missed that rung. It would be a lot of other people. But
Yeah.
you trust God with the whole organization, with the whole
Yeah.
community, and do you have a sense that you have experienced God's Spirit calling you to let go of one thing and reach for the other thing?
Right. Um, just sort of in my experience as a pastor, churches really do hate the in between. Like, and I'm an interim pastor, and so there's kind of two experiences. One is let's get through this as fast as possible, and the other is why can't so as the interim pastor, why can't you just stay, right? Why
Right,
can't you
right,
just be
right.
here for a really really long time? Why do we have to do this? It took me a while to get the church I'm at right now to do the mission study, right? Which is part of a project. Come on, guys, do the mission study. But there is this like, no, let's just settle, right? Can't we just be settled here? What's the danger maybe in that? And feeling like where we are, does that make sense? Right?
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
yeah, yeah,
100%. Yeah,
yeah,
what you're describing, that is the fear. Like, so what is
yeah,
our response to the unknown? Anything solid, anything
yeah,
that feels like, so we would rather camp in the wilderness on the other side of the Red Sea than
yeah,
actually journey to the promised land, which is the land of
yeah,
milk and honey. And
yeah,
if you've actually follow the story of Israel, they would rather go back to slavery
mm,
than go
mm-hmm,
forward
yeah,
and dependent
yeah,
upon the God who gives them manna and only shows up in a pillar of
yeah,
cloud and a
yeah,
pillar of smoke, right? Like,
yeah,
so everything within us wants the solidity and stability of the moment rather than
yeah,
the uncertainty of the transformation.
yeah. Okay, so then how, as leaders, how can we help our churches live in that in between space and get the most out of it? Experience the transformation that is needed in that time.
Yeah. So I think it's two things. One is remind people that you can only go as fast as you learn. You want to keep moving forward, keep learning. Learn your way forward.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go forward by going fast, and you don't also
Mm-hmm.
stay safe by going slow. You
Yeah.
go so keep learning. Focus on learning, which is a good thing because
Mm-hmm.
disciple means learner, and the
Yeah.
earliest form of Christianity was called the way. So
Yeah.
embrace the journey. Like let's say we're going
Yeah.
on a journey of learning, and pretty soon we're going to find ourselves further along, and that learning will move us forward. And the Marines have a great phrase: "Slow is smooth, and smooth is fast." Like after a
Yeah.
while, the learning picks up, and you go faster, and then
Mm-hmm.
you're further along than you thought. So that's the first thing:
Yeah.
embrace the learning. The second thing for a leader is you have to be in your own journey of ongoing liminal
Mm.
transformation. You
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
be the person who sits there solid and secure and invite them
Yeah.
into a journey of risk and trust. You've got to continue your own journey
Yeah.
of your own deepening with God and your own
Yeah.
willingness to step out in faith. And I think that's a hard thing for many of us to do. I
Yeah.
mean, I know a lot of
Yeah.
interim pastors who start looking for their next job a year
Right.
before that one's finished, right?
Right.
Because
Well,
they're right?
for sure. For
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
exactly, right.
Yeah. I
And
get
they
it.
pick it
Yeah.
up, they sniff it out.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, you're already checking out, and you want us to keep doing this, right? So,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
let's make a
Yeah.
deal. You stay here
Yeah.
and be our pastor, and what they're basically
Hmm.
saying is, instead of moving toward the promised land, we're just going to create a campfire, and we're just going to stay right here in the wilderness, and
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
be fine singing songs around the campfire.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Hey, thank you. Let me read the quote one more time. This is from episode 212, Unlearning Old Paradigms for Kingdom Leadership. Terry Walling, he said, transitions are the most important moments in an individual's life and in an organization's life because God does some of his greatest work in the in-between.